for reviews, he's the hungry ferret.
Hey everybody, today we're going to test the Anova Nano. First things first, we're going to remove the mark on the screen. With a little elbow grease, we're able to wipe it off with a towel. At least the mark from before doesn't stay. If you want to catch the unboxing video, please click on the link above. And here's the on tone. The LCD color is white. This is just really a style preference. I find this color easy to read. Blue sometimes is a little hard to read in the dark. On top of the display, you have the 3 buttons that show timer, target temperature, and current temperature. You have the minus that lowers the target temperature, and you have the plus that raises the target temperature. And the center triangle button is to pause or play. The display is pretty responsive to touch. I haven't had a problem with it, and it works pretty well. Noise-wise is on par with the others. It's not completely silent, but when you walk into a room, you're going to know it's on. I set the target for 100 degrees Fahrenheit. While it's getting there, it's going to flip through the 2 temperatures. Right before it reaches the target temperature, you get a target tone. On the application, you also will get a notification. I wish the notification was actually louder or more invasive, or at least be able to set that. At the moment, I think it could easily go unnoticed. But that's a software thing, so it may change in the future. The timer notification is very similar. I ran the Nano through some various popular temperatures. It seemed to be pretty accurate, or at least very close to my temperature probe. For our purposes, it's definitely close enough. So let's check out the power usage. I set the meter at 0 and started the cook. I do my standard test, where I take 48 degrees Celsius water, which is usual hot water from the tap. I heat the water up to 74 degrees Celsius, which is my normal temperature for cooking chicken thighs. It took 9 minutes to heat up the water to temp, from the hot tap water. In comparison, the Joule took 5 minutes, so it's just slightly slower. I insert 4 average chicken thighs into the water, and I'll see how much power it uses to cook. And then I set the timer for 2 hours. This is the actual reading I got from the Nano. In this particular type of cook, I actually used less electricity, at 5 cents, versus the Precision at 9 cents and the Joule at 12 cents. Now this doesn't technically mean that it'll always use less electricity, but it does make sense in some ways. Overall, it has less wattage than the other 2 models. I'm not an expert, but I'm sure somebody could tell me why. I think the Nano is a perfectly good sous vide machine. I think because of the wattage and design, it targets apartment dwellers or people who have a need for a second or third sous vide machine. It doesn't have the ability to cook onto coolers for big cooks, also has less wattage for them. So that makes sense. Usually for sides, it's not going to be as large as like a huge roast. I think the build quality and the design is very nice, and it's excellent for the price point. If you do need a second or third one, or fourth or fifth, this is a nice one to have. If you generally cook for a small amount of people, like say under 4, then this is perfectly fine also. In the future release of the app, they claim to be able to control multiple units within the app at the same time. That is going to be very interesting. Once it comes out, I'm going to see if I can play around with it, and I think it will be a game changer compared to other apps.